Hey guys, welcome to day 8 of my daily blog. I am Dr. Raimondi, aka at New York Eye Doc, and yeah, welcome to my YouTube channel. I have been daily vlogging now for a week and it's been super awesome. I've been getting so much more comfortable in front of the camera, and let's get to today's topic. First off, I don't think the iPhone microphone can capture the audio that I'm hearing outside of my window. But let's try to be quiet and see if we can get it. The birds went away. But anyways, this entire morning there have been so many birds just chirping, and it's absolutely magical hearing them, and it's just so soothing. It is a beautifully sunny, perfect May day. I think I am gonna go outside a little later. So I live in Queens, and just this week, the mayor announced that they are opening up 34th Avenue and they're closing it off 2 cars, opening it up 2 pedestrians. In this part of Queens, it's super dense, it's pretty crowded. So for that reason, I haven't really ventured outside much, but now that we have more open space, I think I will head out there for a little walk. But today, I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about grief. As an optometrist, the really interesting thing is that we don't only, prescribe glasses or prescribe contacts. We check the entire health of the eye, and with that comes neurology. And with that also comes many other specialties like endocrinology, with diabetes, how we manage it, and pediatrics and whatnot. The list goes on. We also, as optometrists, co-manage with rheumatologists and many other specialists as well. But one thing that we all do also is we provide psychological relief and help to our patients. If they aren't seeing something clearly, if their vision is impacted, that can impact their lives, their livelihood, all of it. It can be very daunting, especially when vision loss is involved or when there's something different overall. And with the current pandemic, a lot of patients are experiencing anxiety and depression. I got really sad for a moment when this whole thing happened, and then I was wondering, hold on, do I have anxiety? Do I have depression? And I evaluated myself, and thank God I don't. I'm just really bummed out. But a lot of our patients aren't able to necessarily, manage their emotions like that. And they may not be able to find psychiatric help, and these hotlines are probably overwhelmed. So the number one advice I would give to you if you're struggling with something is to lean into the discomfort and talk about it. Share your feelings with someone you can trust. And if you don't have anyone you can trust, feel free to go on YouTube, go on Instagram, search that problem. Even on TikTok, there's a lot of people talking about their childhood traumas, discovering their inner child, working through different things, no matter what kind of level of trauma it has had to your life. There's always a way to manage it and always a way to work through it and into it. So my biggest tip for you is to lean into your discomfort. And something that I've been really dealing with a lot lately has been the loss of my cat. I know it sounds really stupid to say, but I've been very lucky. I have never lost anyone in my life. My grandparents all died before 2 before I was born, 2 when I was way too young, and they lived in Peru and I never got to meet them. And my parents are one of 9, so their oldest set of brothers and sisters have passed. But again, I never met them because they all live in Peru, and I spent my whole life in New York. And hold on, I'm gonna get some water. And if other people I've been to a few funerals, but they've been people from the neighborhood, not even acquaintances, just people you know, right? Like that. And losing my cat, Minina, I've had her for 14 years. It hit me pretty hard. I'm checking the time. All right, I got a minute left. I don't want to keep these too long, guys. But in terms of grief, it changes you. And I kind of hate that. I hate that it changes me because I am not the same person. I mean, we're never the same person, I guess, day to day. But from when my cat died to now, I've been forced to change. And oh my gosh, it's so heavy on me. I've had Minina, my cat, for 14 years. She's been through it all with me. Through high school, college, optometry school, and my life afterwards. She lived mainly with my parents in these past, since I got married, she's lived with my parents, and I've always spent time with her. And because of COVID, I had to avoid visiting my parents for a long time. So even though my dad drives me, I haven't gone there, right? And I haven't seen my cat. So when she got really sick, I felt so guilty I couldn't spend time with her. And I don't have that many friends either. So my cat, she is that constant, that just unconditional love that only a pet can give you. But the point I want to make about grief and loss is it was amazing the thought process that went through my head. So she died on a Tuesday morning, and that Monday I accepted a Zoom interview that I didn't want to do. And that Monday I had time, and I kind of was planning on going to visit my parents to spend time with my cats, with mask and everything. I kind of wanted to do that. I had the urge to do that. And that Monday morning I accepted this interview. And when that interview ended, I said, I can no longer do things that I don't want to do just to make the other person feel happy. I wasn't looking for a job, and then I still agreed to it. And basically, they tried to reschedule a second interview with me, and I said, you know what, that's not being true to myself. I don't want to do this. And that was part one. And then later on, I recorded a podcast, which is something that I wanted to do. And then my parents called me, and they were telling me how, they really thought it was her last hours. And I went to sleep. And in the morning, I woke up at 7 a.m. to a text from my dad, they were up all night with her. And then they said she finally died. And when I received the text, I didn't believe it. I was laying in bed there that Tuesday morning thinking, there's no way. And I couldn't even call my dad. I couldn't call my mom. I was too afraid. I was like, there's no way she's dead. What are they talking about? Are they sure she's dead? Have they checked? Have they looked at her? I'm like, oh my gosh, if I get there, I know, I'll be able to wake her up. She's not dead. So basically, they told me that they put her body in a little box, and I was like, okay. And because, again, kind of trying to, not see my mom because she's a little bit, weaker in terms of her immune system, my dad said, okay, I'm just going to bring the body. I'm going to drive to your apartment, pick you up, and then we're going to head over to the vet. So I got in the car with my dad. My cat was in a box in the back, right? But I didn't look at it. I waited for my husband to come down. He had to finish something up, and we all went together, right? We drove 10 minutes. It was super rainy that day. And we finally got to the vet's office, and I've been to this vet's office so many times. It's a beautiful cat hospital, Forest Hills Cat Hospital. And I got there, and then my husband asked me, have you seen Minina? Have you seen your cat? And he's been with me. He's been with me since high school, so he knows this cat, right? He asked me if I saw her, and I'm like, no, I didn't see her. And then when I didn't even look at the box that my dad brought to me. So when I got out of the car and I went to the back and opened the back door and I looked at the box, number one, I was struck by how tiny this box was. I was struck by how tiny it was. Minina, my cat, she's a huge part of my life. So I was like, wait, why is she in such a small box? She's larger than life. How is this even happening? I'm getting sad already talking about it, but I need to talk about it. And I just couldn't believe she fit into this tiny box. And then what it actually was my old plastic drawer from my childhood room. That's what it was. So I pulled it open, and my parents lovingly wrapped my cat with a lot of plastic bags. And I could kind of see her outline, right? And it was very faint. And then I looked at my husband for permission, and I asked him, should I rip the plastic bag open? Because it was nicely sealed. And he was like, yeah, open it. And I didn't untie it. I just ripped open into it. And I looked in, and she was dead. Like, there was no question about it. I didn't know. She was just... And I was okay with it. Then I was okay with the fact that she was dead and gone, because that was no longer my cat. That was like a shell, a taxidermied shell. And I didn't have the urge to hold her, to hug her, nothing like that, just because she was gone. It was crazy. And so then both of us started crying a lot. And if you're still watching and you're looking for like a partner in life, a significant other, you want someone who's gonna understand everything you're going through and who's gonna be there for you no matter what. Because he didn't have to come. He was really busy working from home that day, and he still came with me. And he knew how much my cat meant to me. And he cried with me the entire time. But I knew I was ready to say goodbye. And so it was different. I knew, like, damn, like, she's gone. She's just gone. And so I didn't linger. And the vet's office was doing curbside pickups. And I called them up. And the vet came out. And I was a mess. I was completely distraught. And she took her. And then I couldn't even think straight. And then we went home. I cried myself to sleep. I'm still crying now because I've never dealt with anything like this. And I want to remember how I felt. Because she meant the world to me. And here's the thing. Even after moving out of my parents, right? Because I got married. I went every single weekend and I slept over at least like one night a week over there because I'm an only child. And since COVID happened, I stopped doing that, right? And I still haven't really gone back to where my parents live. And I'm kind of dreading the day that I'm gonna head back there, right? Soon, because right now it's May. And then I'm gonna feel that absence. I don't know. It was just incredibly sad. So back to saying that about my significant other, about finding a relationship. You want to find someone who's gonna understand how you feel. And I mean, you know, he did spend a lot of time with my cat, and he was really comforting, and he said, you know, she was a true friend, because that's what pets are. They teach you about friendship and love, and they're just gonna be there for you all day. And I was so distraught that I forgot about my other cat. I forgot about Pachicho. I forgot about him and how sad he must have been. The two of them never curl up together, but in her last hours, he was right by her side, which is incredible. And that's when I realized that I always knew this, like religiously, but we all have a soul. Because once that soul's gone, you're just gone, and that's not your cat. Like, there was no reason for me to hold or hug that body, because it wasn't my cat anymore. Anyway, I really loved her, and her memory will live on. Sorry that I'm crying, and like, I'm gonna have to wash my hands a lot, but it's just been really hard for me. And I was reading a little bit that you should take off from work. And since, well, I kind of had to go into work, but my hair's wet. I've been going into work and doing, phone calls and televisits. And thank God that was the case, because I was actually crying like every hour on the hour. It was just like crying at work. I mean, thank God also that I had my own room and that nobody else could see me, but that's kind of how I worked through it. And back to that Zoom interview. This was on Monday. I had concluded that, you know what, no, I'm not really looking right now. And he somehow managed to say like, oh, let's meet again next week. But then once my cat died, that made me realize that it made me realize a lot of things, but one thing it made me realize is that you have to do what's right for you. As long as you're not hurting anyone, you can't just like let other people like control your day, control your life. Like my time is really precious. And so I ended up telling him, hey, like, no, I don't want to do this right now. And I regretted the fact that I even scheduled something that I didn't want to do, if that makes sense. My problem with me is that I'm like too humble and too nice and like loyal to a fault, to the point where it hurts me, and I don't do enough things that are good for me, if that makes sense. So her death allowed me to stand up for myself and say, hey, you know, because I'm not looking for a job right now. And this person knew that, and they said many times in the email, like, I know you're not looking, but I am. But I should have been like, I shouldn't have been nice, is the point. I should have just been polite and said, thank you so much for thinking about me, but I'm not looking right now. And I just didn't have the vocabulary for that, but now I do. So the point is that life is precious and it's so fleeting, but you'll always have those beautiful memories to share. Anyways, I hope you guys got something from this. I really wanted to talk about this. I really wanted to talk about my cat. And the other interesting thing about me dropping her off, I dropped her off to get cremated, which, you know, I didn't know I had like choices. I was so distraught, and I could only imagine what people go through when they actually lose their loved one, when they actually lose like family, and how it's hard to make those decisions. And I encourage all of you to kind of like think about it, look up options, because when you're in the middle of it, your mind is just spinning and you can't think straight. And for me, I just want to like check off the to-do list and get stuff done. So I didn't know what to do. But like I could have gotten a better urn. I could have got like more of a memorial for her, which I didn't know, but we got a cute little urn for now. And yeah, so I forgot what my point was with that. But oh yes, this was the point. So 2 weeks later, I got her individually cremated, and I went back to the vet's office and went to pick that up. And they handed her to me, and then they said, oh my gosh, like, did your mom drop off the cat before? Because she was so distraught over it. I'm so sorry for your loss. And then we're both wearing masks, so she couldn't hear me. And I said, no, that wasn't my mom who dropped her off. That was me. And I didn't think I was crying when I physically handed my cat over to the vet, but I guess I was. So these things just can impact you on so many levels. So again, live, as long as you're not hurting anyone else, live for yourself, work through grief, and lean into things that make you uncomfortable. I hope this video helps some of you. I kind of wish I had watched a video on losing like a loved one or a pet or something like that, but yeah, just creating that now. Thank you guys. Again, I'm blogging all this because we are so much more than just our professions. We are all people. We all have different things to share, and just opening up about it, it's gonna make all of us understand each other a little more. All right guys, thank you. I can't believe I cried. This is the second time I cried on camera. You gotta find the other one. It's actually on this channel. Bye.